All right, everybody, welcome back. You ready to dive deep with us again?
Absolutely. Always ready to jump into a new topic.
Yeah, and today we're tackling something, well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's not the most thrilling subject on the surface.
It can be a little dry.
Yeah, tariffs.
Tariffs.
Yeah, but stick with us.
Yes.
Because this explainer we found, it's pretty fascinating. I mean, one of the things I learned is that tariffs, they can actually like stifle innovation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that blew my mind. Like, I never thought about it that way, you know?
Right.
That protectionist policies could actually hold back progress.
Interesting.
So we're going to dig into how tariffs actually work, specifically in the U.S.
Okay.
And the big question we're going to try to answer is, who really pays the price when those import taxes are slapped on?
It's a great question because, there's this common idea that tariffs are all about punishing the exporting country.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, make them pay for unfair trade practice or whatever, right?
The intention is there for sure.
Yeah.
But the reality of how it actually plays out is a lot more complicated.
Okay, so let's walk through this.
Okay.
Let's say a company here in the U.S. orders a shipment of, like some fancy high-tech gadgets from, overseas.
Sure.
What happens when those gadgets land here in the U.S.?
So those gadgets arrive at the port, all ready to go.
Uh-huh.
But before they can hit the U.S. market, the importer, that U.S. company, has to pay a tax.
Okay.
And that's the tariff.
Right to U.S. Customs.
Right to U.S. Customs, exactly.
So right off the bat, it's the U.S. importer who's paying.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But then what? I mean, do they just kind of shrug and absorb that cost?
Well, some companies might, especially bigger companies. They have more wiggle room.
Right.
But let's be real, most businesses, they're not going to just eat that extra expense.
Yeah, they're going to pass it along somehow, right?
Exactly. They'll either raise prices for other businesses.
Right.
Or, and this is where it hits home for most people.
They'll raise the price you see as a consumer.
Okay, so wait, that means that tariffs can actually work against innovation.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah. How does that happen?
Well, think about it. If companies can just rely on these tariffs to make their foreign competitors less appealing, there's less pressure on them to, innovate and make their own products better.
Oh, I see.
Why bother investing all that money in research and development?
Right.
When you can just count on the government to make your competition more expensive.
Wow. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
It's an interesting angle.
Yeah, so instead of creating healthy competition,
right,
tariffs might actually be creating this weird bubble where domestic industries don't have to try as hard.
Exactly. It can lead to complacency.
And it's not just about prices going up either, right? This explainer mentioned retaliation.
Oh, yeah.
What happens when other countries decide to hit back with their own tariffs on stuff that the U.S. is exporting?
That's the danger, right? The tit for tat.
So let's say in response to that U.S. tariff on those gadgets, the other country decides, okay, we're going to put a big tariff on American-made farm equipment.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden, American farmers who rely on selling their products overseas, they're facing all these new problems.
Oh, yeah.
Higher costs, smaller markets.
Yeah.
And that can even lead to job losses.
It becomes like a trade war.
Exactly. Tariffs flying back and forth.
Yeah.
Nobody wins in that scenario.
So it seems like these tariffs, they might look like a simple way to protect American businesses.
It seems that way at first glance, yeah.
But it's way more complicated.
It is.
It's not just about the economics.
It's much bigger than that.
We have to think about encouraging innovation.
Absolutely.
And our relationships with other countries.
Right.
And all the unintended consequences that might pop up.
It's a complex web of factors.
Yeah, it really makes you think,
It does.
In this global economy where everything's so connected, are tariffs really the best way to deal with trade imbalances and protect domestic industries?
It's a question worth asking.
Yeah. Or are there other ways that we haven't thought of?
Right.
Ways that could actually make everybody better off and more innovative?
It's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah. Something to think about.
Definitely.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
It was great to have this conversation.
Likewise.
We'll see you all next time for another deep dive.
Until then.
Bye, everybody.